Dennis Sanders.
Desiree Sanders.
Cindy Sanders.
Mitchell Merklin.
Do you support organ donation? Chances are that you do, considering that according to organ donation statistics, 95% of U.S. adults support organ donation. The real question is, though, are you signed up to be an organ donor? I am. Chances for this aren't as good, as according to organ donation statistics, only 54% of U.S. adults are signed up to be organ donors. Today, I want to persuade you on the problem that there are not enough adults in the United States signed up as organ donors, and that the solution for this is for more adults to be signed up as organ donors and why they should. There are many deaths in the United States that could easily be prevented if more people were signed up as organ donors. Thousands of people each year die while waiting on the transplant list. According to organ donation statistics, there are 8,000 deaths every year in the United States because organs are not donated in time. Every 10 minutes, another person is added to the national transplant waiting list, and 22 people die each day waiting for an organ. According to Live on New York, solid organs, which are life-saving organs, are hearts, kidneys, pancreases, lungs, livers, and intestines. Each year, more than 1 million people need life-saving and life-improving tissues and eyes. So these are considered not life-saving, but dramatically life-improving. These include heart valves, cardiovascular tissue, bone and soft musculoskeletal tissue, and skin. So how does it all work? There are many things you should know before signing up to be an organ donor if you would like to. According to matching donors and recipients, when matching organs from deceased donors to patients on the waiting list, many factors are taken into consideration. Some of these include blood type of the donor and the recipient, the body size of the donor and the recipient, the severity of the patient's medical condition, the distance between the donor's hospital and the patient's hospital, and the patient's waiting time. So these are taken into consideration. For example, blood type. You have to have the same blood type in the donor and the recipient. And if you are a recipient who has a much rarer type of blood, it may be more difficult to find a donor because there aren't as many donors with that type of blood. Another example of this consideration would be body size. If you have a newborn infant who is in need of a heart, they would not be able to receive a heart from an adult even if everything else matched, because it wouldn't work. Also, the severity of the patient's medical condition. If there is a patient who is expected to live much less, they are moved up on the waiting list. The distance between the donor's hospital and the patient's hospital is very important because the organs can only last so long, so if they are on opposite sides of the country, this may not be possible to receive an organ. According to frequently asked questions, the maximum time for the following organs and tissues to be outside of the donor's body and to get into the patient's body is, for lungs, 4 to 6 hours, heart is 4 to 6 hours as well, the liver can wait 24 hours, kidneys can wait 72 hours, and corneas will last 14 days. There are some things you should know before you decide to become a donor if you aren't one already. According to organ donation statistics, one person can donate up to 8 life-saving organs. So if you were a donor and you passed away and all of your organs were able to go into patients, you would be able to save up to 8 lives, because that includes the heart, both lungs, both kidneys, liver, intestines, and pancreas. Only 3 in 1,000 people die in a way that allows for organ donation. So it is important that as many people sign up as possible, since there are such strict circumstances for organ donation. And when you are signed up to be an organ donor, according to Live on New York, doctors will do all that they can to save your life. They do not take being an organ donor into consideration when it comes to saving your life in a critical condition. Donation only occurs after the death of a patient is declared by physicians who are not legally affiliated with donation. So you don't have to worry about them not wanting to save your life because they want to save somebody else's. If you are a donor, when you pass, your family does not pay any bills related to donation. All major religions support donation. and a donor's body is never disfigured, and donation does not interfere with funeral arrangements. Open casket services are always possible. Another great fact about organ donation is that organ transplants, the success rate is between 80 and 90%. So it's great to know that if you are a donor, it's very likely that if your organ matches with someone, that it will be a success and can help to save their life. So we can help solve this problem if everyone who is eligible were to be signed up as donors. Now, children under the age of 18 are not allowed to be signed up as donors, but if you do have a child who passes away, you are able to donate their organs. So in order to help as many people as possible, everyone should be signed up to be an organ donor if you can. It is very easy to sign up to be an organ donor. According to beanorgandonor.com, you can become an organ donor by going to dmv.org and simply registering online. If you don't already have a license, you can become a donor when you get your license by simply checking the box on the form when you register, so it's very easy. So here's a real story about organ donation that helped to save a life. According to an article titled, "After 2 years of dialysis, kidney donation transforms a young boy's life." A boy whose name was Caleb, he's from Washington, D.C., he was born with a syndrome called prune belly syndrome. This is a serious birth defect that caused his kidneys to fail. When he was a year old, he started dialysis, and he had to get dialysis for 10 hours a day, every day, to keep him alive. And he was on dialysis for 2 years, because when he was 3 years old, he was finally able to receive a transplant. So I think being able to hear real stories really helps you connect to the people whose lives are saved or improved from transplants. So becoming an organ donor can help save a lot of people's lives. There are thousands of people that die each year from not being able to get organ transplants. This problem can be solved by more people signing up in time, by signing up to donate their organs for when they are deceased. You have the capability to potentially save up to 8 people's lives once you have died. It would be amazing to know that in your death, someone else could be saved, while at the same time, a part of you lives on. At some time in your life, you or even a dear family member could be in need of an organ. So I strongly encourage you to sign up to be an organ donor if you are not already.
Judge Sanders.